at some point it's okay to let it go. And I think there's sometimes beauty in imperfection. And I think being a disabled woman, I can see the beauty in imperfection because I don't walk beautifully for mainstream, but I do walk beautifully for the glory of God and for the people who are inspired by me. Your value is much more than what your output in and what you produce as well. Because as creatives, we always feel like if we're not creating, if we don't have things out there, what are we? We're nothing in this world. And that's just a lie. But I can understand where it comes from because I deal with it.
Welcome to Begin, Build, Blossom, your business journey, the podcast where we share valuable insights, resources, and motivation to fuel your entrepreneurial spirit. Let's build a supportive community together. Don't forget to subscribe or follow wherever you listen to podcasts and be part of this journey. Let's pause for a moment to hear from our sponsors. You've built a name for yourself through hard work and dedication, but does managing the business side feel like a distraction from your true passion? Are you dealing with unmanaged finances? CME Accounting LLC is here to help. We specialize in organizing your financial records, allowing you to focus on what you do best. With organized books, you'll have more time for what inspires you. Whether that's expanding your influence, building relationships, or simply enjoying life. Don't let unmanaged finances hold you back. Reach out to CME Accounting LLC today and let us help you thrive. Visit our website www.cmeaccountingllc.com or email us at admin@cmeaccountingllc.com. All right, let's jump back into our conversation.
Welcome to Begin, Build, Blossom, your business journey, a space for real conversations around creative and entrepreneurial journeys. I'm Angela, your host for today's episode. Today's guest has a mission that resonates deeply: to use her voice as an anthem, telling bold, authentic stories about faith, people, and the world through poetry, movement, workshops, and accessible theater and film. She embodies determination, creativity, and a commitment to making the arts a place where everyone belongs. Our guest, Britny Virginia. Britny is an international poet, writer, workshop facilitator, and creative producer. Born with cerebral palsy, Britny draws from her lived experience to inspire confidence in others and to champion representation. Her work centers on disability, culture, and faith, and her artistic impact is already being recognized globally. Her short film, Dancing Shoes, was selected for the London International Film Festival, among others. Her play, Up in the Mango Trees, was chosen for the Bloomsbury Festival and shortlisted for the Women's Playwriting Prize 2025. Britny hopes to change the world one story at a time. And today, she shares that journey with the Begin, Build, Blossom family. Britny, welcome to Begin, Build, Blossom.
Thank you for having me. Really excited to be here.
Okay, wonderful. Thanks for accepting the invitation. And we look forward to chronicling your journey, as you started out facing the challenges that most of us would not ordinarily face. So we look forward to hearing, how you overcame that, how you turned that into a business, and how that mission of making the arts inclusive is working.
Yes.
Okay. So as we get into the conversation, we want to do a little bit of an icebreaker. Let's get to know Britny, a little bit better. So one of the questions we ask in this rapid fire section: use one word to describe yourself as a child and one word to describe yourself now.
Ooh, as a child, both shy and a daredevil. So two words. And now I would say fearless and devoted. Those are two words I would use.
Well, what do you think perhaps has contributed to a change in the shyness and the devotion and so on?
Well, as a child, I felt like I didn't have a voice and my voice didn't matter as much. So as a woman of faith, that's where the devotion comes from. And the fearlessness comes from being now being a woman of faith that now I know my voice has purpose and meaning. Yeah.
Okay, so it's good that you were able to grow into those changes and understanding of yourself.
Yes, yes.
All right, so moving along in our rapid fire, what is one book or movie that you've experienced that you'd like to share with the audience?
Ooh. One book I'm reading right now, I'm actually part of two book clubs. And growing up, which is quite interesting, going into our story, our my background. But growing up, I was very insecure because I realized later on that I had dyslexia, or I'm on the dyslexic spectrum. So the idea of book clubs always terrified me because I read slower than people and I just felt like I was inadequate. But now that I'm part of two book clubs, one of the books that we're reading is Trying to Sleep in the Bed That You Made. And it's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful book. I just love the way it's written. It was released in 1997, which is the year I was born, and I'm reading it with two women who are from Denry as well, and we're just enjoying the beauty of different writers and female writers. So that's really exciting. It's about two best friends growing up and having to deal with the challenges of life, dealing with the strain of their friendships and how they navigate that. So that's been quite wonderful to read.
Okay, great. Thanks for sharing that. We'll definitely put it in the show notes so our audience can also enjoy the benefits of reading that book. Now, as we move on, we're talking about fun. We always have different experiences in life. Do you have a favorite childhood memory that brings a smile to your face?
I can't think of one right now. There's so many. And to be honest, my childhood it was fun, but there was also a lot of challenges. So I think that the challenges sadly kind of overshadowed a lot of things that would happen. But and being the only child as well is very, very boring. But I will say, I will say, probably my dad used to pick me up after there was an after school club that I was a part of. And he would always come pick me up. And remembering just him, we didn't have deep conversations, but it was just nice to have those moments of walking with him back home because that was the only time we actually got to, I think, just us two, and it felt special to me. So that's probably one of them I can think of right now.
Okay, okay, it's good. It's always good to have different perspectives on the memories
Yeah,
and reflections because they may not necessarily always have been a fun something that comes to mind. So
yeah,
it's good to have that.
yeah.
All right. So is there a fun fact about Brittany that you'd like to share? Something that people don't really know?
Something that people don't really know about me. I would say I am a cafe connoisseur. Okay, if I wasn't doing what I'm doing, if I wasn't doing what I was doing now, I would be traveling to different cafes. Listen, if I come to your area, I will find the best cafes, top five cafes, like within a week. That's just something I love doing. It's very expensive, but and I guess it helps as a writer. It just gives me so much like not confidence, but it just gives me so much ease to just like let the writing flow. So that's something a
Mhm.
lot of people don't know.
Okay. All right, great. Thanks for sharing that. If you could be anywhere in the world, where would it be right now? Any country, any place? Yes.
St. Lucia, definitely St.
Ah,
Lucia on a balcony, um, with my laptop with a nice book. Yeah. And with a nice coffee. People drink coffee back home. They drink hot drinks back home, but at the same time they also don't. So, but I love hot drinks throughout the day, and I would be doing that. So that was what,
so that's what you'd be.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Wonderful. Well, thanks for giving us that insight. And as we speak about St. Lucia, we know that you're a daughter of St. Lucian soil. How does that contribute to the person that you've become today?
How has it helped or determined who I am today? I think definitely significantly. I love music. Even though I have my disability, I love dancing. I love moving my body. I am very loud. In certain settings, I'm more chilled and quiet. But I think around the right people, especially my family, my voice gets to 1,000. And yeah, I love music and I love dancing. I think I'm very funny. I think I'm a funny person, but also my family are funny. So I love funny people. I love humor, and I think that's part of the culture. Like you have to laugh. Yeah, so I think that's how it's definitely influenced me. And now being a writer and being in the arts, it's definitely influenced my approach to writing. And I've noticed because of that, thankfully, people have been very intrigued with my writing because I come from that perspective as a St. Lucian woman.
Okay, excellent. So you've led us into talking about your business, the work that you do in terms of writing and workshops and so on. So tell us what it is that, I mean, we know that you're writing, you write plays, you write poetry, you do workshops, but was this what you always did? How did the journey of making it into a business start?
Yeah, it wasn't what I was always doing. I didn't think I would be able to do it. When like I said earlier, going back to feeling very insecure and inadequate with reading and writing and not knowing why I'm struggling to spell simple words or why can't I retain information that I should be able to retain. I just thought it just wasn't for me. But when I was really younger, I had a storybook and I would write ample I wish I had it today because it would just really inspire me. And then after I got a really low grade in grade 5 in America, I think it was yeah, grade 5 and F. And I was like, oh, well, I'm stupid. And prior to that, my teachers actually really loved the way I approach literature and writing and storytelling. They really championed me. But then coming to a higher grade, it was like, you don't know what you're doing. And I'm like, oh, okay, so I'm just going to leave this and just do the bare minimum. And after a while, going through a really hard time, a really hard breakup, as you know, love and romance. That pushed me to the only thing I could do was write. That was only my only outlet. And I was like, oh, wait, I think I have something here. Like the way I'm writing or the way I'm writing these poems is it's different and there's some power in it. So then I decided to study creative writing at uni. That was in 2015. I went to uni, studied creative writing. I still didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew that I wanted to make an impact somehow with my writing, but I just didn't know what avenue I wanted to take. And in my later years at uni, yeah, my last year really, I was like, okay, I think I want to go into theater film. I am a poet, but I really want to pursue those avenues. And in 2019, when I graduated, I got an opportunity to, they call it Scratch Nights in Theta. And it's basically where you get to showcase your work in progress. And at the time, I wrote a short play about a poetic play about women, Black women wearing their hair in professional settings and how that can be scrutinized. And from that time, I was able to, other people saw the play and they picked it up. Another person saw the play, they picked it up. And then that's how my kind of name kind of got out there. And at that time, I really had to find a name because oh, what are they going to call me? I don't want to just say Brittany. That's what my family say. So that's like, oh, Britny Virginia, because my middle name. And yeah, and I just started to grow from there, 2019. And it was really hard journey because 2020 is when the pandemic happened. And I was like, oh no, my career is over. Like I'm just starting out and nothing's being done. But thankfully, I was a part of this program with the government where they were assisting young people, and I applied to volunteer at a local theater company, and they happened to be a part of the same program the government had to assist young people. And because I approached them to volunteer my time, they were like, "Oh, we really like what you're doing, and we want to keep you on. So these are some jobs you can apply for." And thankfully, I got one of the jobs, which is, oh yeah, it was a theater maker role. And basically, it was just, it encompassed everything from writing to acting to directing to devising to producing. So everything. And from there, I just started to grow. And then 2023, I decided to take the plunge. I think 2023, April time to go freelance because I was working at another company and my contract was ending and they were like, oh, you can apply for another job. I was like, oh, I don't think I really want to take the freelancing seriously. And then 2023, I was able to film, raise money for the film and also get it in production that year. And also I got some funding from Arts Council to travel to St. Lucia to write the play Up in Mango Trees. And then I got an opportunity to travel to Jamaica to do some workshops with poetry writing workshops with a deaf school, which was really, really fun and exciting. And then 2024 came around, came back to UK, and I was like, oh, what do I do now? And there was a lack of opportunities, but I was like, no, I'm still going to pursue this and do some more workshops and continue writing and trying to build on the play because I was like, I need to get this out. And thankfully, I was able to get Bloomsbury the following year. So yeah.
Okay, so quite a intriguing or intertwined journey. You spoke about going to St. Lucia to write the play and going to Jamaica. How did those opportunities come along? Did you had to apply for a grant, apply for
Yes,
prepare a proposal?
yes, yes.
At that time, you were doing it as that individual. You see as well, okay, I could probably do this as my career kind of thing.
Yeah, I saw other people doing it as a career. So it's like, oh, okay, it can be done. It's just really difficult. And you have to build on it and build on your partnerships with people, especially workshops. Because I was like, if I don't get commissioned to write, at least I can have, and I also enjoy that, love passing on what I learned to other people. So I definitely saw that it's doable. And I also was talking to the other people about freelancing, and they did say they are going to be quieter seasons. So when you do have a high period of work and finances coming in, you don't live like you have that money. You still live like you probably don't have all that, opportunities happening at that time because they will be a lower season, and that happens with everyone within the industry, unless proper big name. And even then, I heard big actors say that as well. Like sometimes think there's just a dry period of nothing, and then there's yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I did have to apply for grants. So in 2023 for traveling to St. Lucia, I had to apply for the Develop Your Creative Practice grant, and that is an opportunity where the Arts Council, they give you a lump sum of money to invest in your creative practice. So it's like, okay, how can I have time without thinking about having to pay? Because at the time as well in 2020, I was renting, and I was like, oh man, I just need time to just focus on the writing and not worry about bills. And so they give you that time to just focus on your creative practice in whatever capacity that is, and they'll pay for things that you probably need to pay for. Like it would be like they're commissioning you to do what you're doing, and then you pay from that lump sum, you pay what you need to pay your bills, whatever it is. So that's how I got that opportunity. And then the Jamaican opportunity, I was working with a young woman on my play, a part of another theater company I was working for at the time. And it wasn't a play, it was a poem. And it was an outdoor theater experience, immersive experience. And she was doing the BSL for that. So she was interpreting what I was saying for deaf audiences. And she had a company with her husband, and they were looking for a poet and workshop facilitator to travel to Jamaica because they had a partnership in Jamaica. And she asked me, and yeah, I said, yeah,
Okay. All led you to this point that you're
yeah,
at.
yes, yes, exactly.
Okay, Brittany, so we've been talking about your journey. You spoke a lot about freelancing. You spoke about, those opportunities to go out and accessing grants. Not all of these were freelancing. Has the thought ever occurred, or did it occur at any time you could create a business out of this?
Yes, it definitely occurred to me that I could create a business out of this. I didn't know exactly how it would happen. And I knew I would take a different route than most people, especially considering how integral the faith element is to me and to my art. So I was like, oh, I could do one day I'll start to do merchandise, and I'll branch out with content creation. With my YouTube channel, I branch out with these kind of things. It's definitely difficult, but I knew it was possible, and I just knew that I just had to keep going. And I also knew I had a gift that I couldn't sit on. I feel like if I sat on that gift, I would be so disappointed in myself, and I feel like there will be other people who would miss out as well, of what I could bring, what I bring to this world, and also how I could help other people bring their voice or their art to this world as well. I remember the first day of my interview at the university I studied at. My professor was like, "Oh, what you gonna do with this degree?" Da da da. And I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna create a production company, and they're gonna know my name, and you need to accept me because then I'll say that I studied here, so you'll get some exposure from that." And he just laughed. He was like, "You are bold." I was like, "Yeah, I don't know where that came from, but." I said it, and I still would like to do a production company one day, but I think that will definitely take some time.
Okay. Okay, great. So thanks for sharing that insight and that bit of reflection on your university days. So, drawing back on your gift and what it is that you do, tell us in more detail what are the services that you offer. specifically?
Yes. So I would offer as a writer, if you commission me to write a play, or maybe write a poem, I would do that. Also do some workshop facilitation. If you're looking for some poetry writing or drama workshops, I can offer that. If you're looking for editing services, so you have a manuscript you want edited, I would offer that as well. I will also offer, which I'm very passionate about, it's like mentorship, but also consultation. So if you have an idea you have and you're like, oh, I need some help with seeing how this can become into fruition, I can definitely support in that, considering the fact that I've raised several funds for different projects over the years. And I think I have, at the moment, I have a strong voice. So I will be able to help someone with their strong voice. Yeah. And I think I said mentorship, but that's something I definitely want to get into because I think I have so much to offer the next generation, or even someone who's younger than me, but who wants to do what I'm doing, but they don't know how. Yeah.
Okay, great. So that's a wide range of services that you offer to the general public. So if somebody wanted to reach out to you, what would be a good way to connect with you?
Definitely by my email. You can find my email on my website. So Britny Virginia double A at the end at gmail.com or Britny Virginia double A at the end.com.
Okay, great. Thanks for sharing those contact details. Now, as we continue with the conversation, you spoke of various levels of movement, of growth, exposure, and the things you do. What would you say has been the biggest leap you've made so far?
I definitely would say is the trip to St. Lucia. I think that was always a dream of mine to go there to write and to also connect with some disabled organizations on the island and disabled people, which I was able to do. And that was just so exciting. And that made me like feel like, oh, no, you can actually do this. Yeah. You there's no doubt in my mind that I can do it. Of course, there's imposter syndrome. I don't know if you know that word.
It's a buzzword these days, so yeah.
Yeah. So I have that often, but at the same time, like, oh no, like you did that a few years ago. Could you imagine what could happen moving forward? Yeah, that's one of the biggest leaps, I would say.
Let's pause for a moment to hear from our sponsors. You've built a name for yourself through hard work and dedication, but does managing the business side feel like a distraction from your true passion? Are you dealing with unmanaged finances? CME Accounting LLC is here to help. We specialize in organizing your financial records, allowing you to focus on what you do best. With organized books, you'll have more time for what inspires you. Whether that's expanding your influence, building relationships, or simply enjoying life. Don't let unmanaged finances hold you back. Reach out to CME Accounting LLC today and let us help you thrive. Visit our website www.cmeaccountingllc.com or email us at admin@cmeaccountingllc.com. All right, let's jump back into our conversation.
Mhm. Okay, thanks for that reflection. It's good to hear that perspective. And talking about disabilities and challenges, you live with cerebral palsy. How have you found that affected the work that you've been able to do? And what positive outcome from having cerebral palsy you've been able to bring to the work that you've done?
Well, it just means it for me, it definitely means that I can't be as active. Like people will still say, "Oh, you're so busy. You have this, you have that, you're doing this." But I know that my counterparts who don't have a disability, they can do way more because of their energy levels. My energy, I have to really maintain my energy levels. I was just filming 2 weeks ago and it was just intense. So I was producing that, but also first AD on the film. And I had so much foot swelling and pain from that, and that took me a week to recover from. So I now I'm older. I know what happens and how long I need to recover. But I know that if it was someone else, they were just 2 days up and running
Yeah, up and
again.
going.
You know what I mean? So that's been a difficulty because I'm like, man, I feel like I can do so much more. I will be so much further. I have to maintain my energy because if I'm not there physically, even mentally, I can't really output well.
So, from managing disability, what positive would you say has helped you to bring to the services you provide?
Well, apart from just I love to tell stories from a disabled point of view, POV. I think I have a sensitivity or I don't know if it's sensitive, but it's definitely I'm just cautious and want to care for people well. And I think because I have to slow down, I'm not as quick to do things. It's like, okay, so when I'm with someone and helping their project, I'm like, okay, how we're gonna care and hold this well to make sure you're pleased and you get what you want out of it, but also you're not affected emotionally because I was inconsiderate with how how I approached you. That's something I think personally my disability probably has helped with.
Because it gives you a deeper level of empathy and a deeper level of presence when you're engaging with someone. So you're not distracted by all the things that everyone else may potentially. Okay. So as we're talking about that, I'm talking about health because it's a major thing that you have to continue to navigate for the rest of your life. What keeps you going? What keeps you motivated to keep doing the work that you do?
I grew up with a lot of strong women. My mom is one of them, but also a lot of other strong women around me who instilled in me the idea of not being, not using your circumstance to be a reason why you can't do something. It was like, okay, you have a disability and you're not going to be a victim. So it's very, very hard, straight to the point kind of upbringing. And also, I think being a Christian as well, woman of faith, I think I'm like, no, if the Lord has given me breath, I'm going to live this life as fully as possible. To honor him for his glory and also to bless other people. And I have seen I'm aware that there are people with disabilities even who are more severe than my own and have much more probably pain than I do, and they're still doing amazing things. And I'm like, yeah, just live your life and enjoy. I think is enjoying the life. I'm like, I only have one life. How can I really enjoy it? I mentioned earlier laughing. I love to laugh. I love to enjoy life. Sorry. So I think that's part of what keeps me going and motivated. And I also know that there are people who need to be reminded of the hope that I have and that is available to them.
So yeah, it's good that you can share your lived experience, with managing and navigating and also serving as a means of inspiration for others that yes, despite those challenges, you can still accomplish these great things out there. So I want us to delve a little bit into Up in the Mango Trees. What was the inspiration? This was your play that was picked up at the Bloomsbury Festival. I had the opportunity to watch the play as well, so it was quite entertaining, and you had a pretty good crowd on the evening as well. Tell us what was the inspiration behind that play? What was the message you were hoping to get out?
Well, the inspiration was I wanted to address being disabled, being Caribbean, St. Lucia specifically, being from a culture that is about music and dance and like just enjoying yourself, but where does the disabled voice live in that culture, and how important are we to this culture? We're often undermined and not seen. And actually, recently, I don't know if you saw, they have the autism awareness and they actually did much more of a campaign to show that autism in St. Lucia is not a hindrance to someone achieving life and embracing life. And
Yes, I saw the flyers.
yeah, so I was really happy to see that there's just much more being done. And when I started to write the play, I didn't know how it was gonna be. I actually wanted it to be a one woman play. And then as I started to write, the characters just started to come and I was like, okay, it makes sense for these characters. And I'm gonna add a few more elements to it as well. But I thought it would be very audacious, I would say, to have a disabled woman running for Carnival Queen. I think that would give people a stir. I think that would be like people would be like double back. I think people have some really strong feelings towards the idea and the thought of it. And I was like, good. And then you can come and see it, and we can actually have a dialogue about it. And what I wanted people to get from it, I think I wanted people to just be more open-minded and accepting of others. Like something I get often, which I don't necessarily like. I grew up with it all the time. Was like, oh, but you speak, you don't look like someone with a disability. You don't, there's this idea of what disability looks like. And it's like, that's just not true. We're not a monolith. The same way Black people, we're not a monolith. So it's the same thing, like we shouldn't just be like,
Yes,
oh, but you
yes.
don't look the same. I understand where it comes from. So I'm not about arguing about language and words all the time. I think come on now, I think my generation, well, Gen Z, we can just be a bit too sensitive about certain things. But I do think we need to open our eyes and wake up a bit more and just like try to have a conversation with someone that you have not had a conversation with. If you feel like, I remember one time someone said to me, I struggle to even like, you know carry on the conversation because all I can see is the disability. And I'm like, but that's what people say about maybe a white person might say about a Black person. Oh, I can't really have a conversation because they're Black or where they're from. It's like, I'm still a person. I am a person. I am a person. Accept me as a person. I think that would be better for all of us, and it help us to live in more unity and harmony.
Mm, okay. All right. Excellent. So thanks for sharing those insights into, the inspiration behind the play. In terms of benefits from being part of the play, being chosen to be part of that festival, what would you say you've gained from having your play aired or performed at the festival?
Well, I definitely gained more committed audience. People who are like, no, we want to see it more. We want to see it as a full thing, with all the resources you could have. We see the potential of it. Obviously, well, no, actually, the getting the playwriting, being shortlisted for that was apart from the having it staged. But I think definitely just for people to see that, oh, who I am and I'm out there and who Britny Virginia is and her voice. I think that was quite a big part of having it staged. Also for me as a producer, I was like, oh no, I can actually raise this amount of money for another production. Like it gave me more confidence to say, oh no, it can happen. I just have to keep going and learning. Yeah, that's about those two things.
Okay. Oh, excellent. So, as we speak about learning and the experiences you gain, what would you say are three lessons you've learned so far from developing this creative journey?
I would say it's okay to take breaks. Breaks is okay because if I drop dead because of exhaustion, there will be some, and then it's okay if someone else comes to replace me. What I mean is like it's your life is important just as much as your work. So it's okay to take breaks. Don't be so, and I'm still learning this. And I pray, I wish I could learn it like today, like this second. But I think it's a journey that God has me on. Yeah, do not be tied to people's opinions because there are some people, like for example, the play, they didn't like it, and there are some people who really enjoyed it and really loved it. And also something else I'm learning is the people you think who will support you and who will see where you're going, want to go with you on that journey. They might not look like you, or they will not be the ones you expect. And the people you expect to support you will also be the ones you that will not, yeah. People can celebrate you in this wonderful, like, yeah, this is, and you can celebrate people, but don't be tied to that. That's second. And I'm going back to the second point, like your value is much more than what your output in and what you produce, as well. Because as creatives, we always feel like if we're not creating, if we don't have things out there, what are we? We're nothing in this world, and that's just a lie. But I can understand where it comes from because I deal with it. And thirdly, I want this to be a conversation. I'm really bracing myself, Angela, because I'm like I want to ask you questions as well. But
Yeah, sure. Yes, go ahead.
I don't know what you think. I hate this idea of excellence. I don't know why. I used to love it when I was at uni, and then I'm like, I hate this idea of it. I do love the idea of being passionate and making sure whatever you put out there, it's like to the best of your ability and stuff like that. Like taking your art seriously or taking your work seriously, whatever that may be. But the idea of excellence really annoys me because I feel like I think I'm hearing perfect. And I'm like, oh, but things are never perfect. So my third point is do everything you can to the best of your ability. What is the resources you have in your lab? Don't just sit on it, be like, oh, well, I can't do this because I don't have that. people started YouTube channels with an iPhone, with nothing. You know what I mean? A broken iPhone, and they were able to create. And even I'm just starting my YouTube channel, and people who are following me, I'm like, why? Like, I know I put good sometimes I put good things out, but I'm like, the video is not great, or the audio is not great, or I ramble on too much, but it's like they're invested in me and where I'm going. So don't be so consumed with, oh, it has to be this perfection, because I feel like it can hinder you from progressing. Don't put out rubbish either. Like, be very mindful of what you're putting out. But at some point, it's okay to let it go. And I think there's sometimes beauty in imperfection. And I think being a disabled woman, I can see the beauty in imperfection, because I don't walk beautifully for mainstream, but I do walk beautifully for the glory of God. And for the people who are inspired by me on for the fact that, like, I remember I was thinking, I did this video, and I was scared to go on the treadmill at the gym, because I'm like, oh, people are just gonna watch me and stare at me. But it's like, but Brittany, like, I can walk. Like, it's a blessing for me to even be able to walk, no matter how funny or extreme it might look, or whatever it is. Like, I need to be proud of that, and praise God in that. So I don't worry about perfection. There's beauty in imperfection. Put it out, but put it out to the best of your ability. In that season, this is what the best I could do with the knowledge I had, the resources I had, and then you can
Yes.
improve later on.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, you sound very passionate about that, and thanks for sharing. Excellence, you said it is. It all stemmed from the thoughts about excellence. It's funny because just before this interview, I was listening to Oprah and Adam Grant on her podcast, and the discussion was, "What is your full potential?" with Adam Grant and Oprah, and it's just talking about being what you'd like to be and working with what you have available, essentially, and just achieving what it is that you should achieve. It's just applying yourself. So it speaks a little bit to what you're talking about, and using what we have, not trying to go outside the box or going somewhere else, but just using what exists. It's a really good conversation that you can check out.
Okay, thank you.
In terms of excellence, I mean, it's the association, I believe, because for you, excellence would look different. For me, excellence would look different. And because, particularly perhaps in our settings or others, we're told that you must be good at this, you have to be perfect. And even me as a parent, I sometimes get caught and have to remind myself that my son is not me. He sees things differently. And so it's just taking it in what works for you and what fits into your realm. And I love what you say about not limiting yourself to what other people see you as or view you as, and saying this is all you can do, but what it is that you would like to do, and looking at those spears out there that's showing you what you can get done. And by doing, then you can start achieving.
Yes, yes, exactly.
So what's next for Brittany?
What's next? So I'm writing my second poetry collection at the moment. That's definitely on the horizon, and I'm hoping to get that out this year. And I'm looking for an editor at the moment.
Mm, okay. Okay, great. So in terms of more plays, updates, you mentioned updates in the Mango Tree. Are they producing
Yes.
any of those in the works?
So I'm part of a writers group at the moment, because being shortlisted with the competition, they commissioned us to do this writers course, and I have a few meetings with them, and I had a dramaturgy meeting with a wonderful director and writer herself, and she was just giving me guidance on, like, certain things that I had queries about with developing the play. And there's a few more competitions I'm just gonna apply for and submit the play to. So I'm gonna make a few changes. Yeah, just a few changes in the play, and then submit that to other competitions to get it more out, and get a theatre company to help produce it, because I need that support. And so then I can just focus mostly on acting in it, and being a creative voice in it as well. But having someone else just do all the man labor, because it was really exhausting doing everything. And I like I said, I was just on a film with my friend called Fruits. It's about restfulness and enjoying your family, and hustle culture. So that's a short film that we're hoping to get out at the end of the year. My other friend, I was props manager for his film. So that's been shot and we're in the post-production process as well. And I think that's probably going to be done in the end of this year as well. Doing a couple workshops coming up, which I'm really looking forward to. We've seen you with some young people. One of the playwriting. So trying to write a 10-minute play, which I'm really excited about, like, 'cause I love like helping people achieve something. And then my poetry collection is about womanhood, relationships, and faith. So that's something I'm definitely looking forward to, and I will definitely do a book launch for that
Oh,
because I
that's a
think,
poetry book you read a bit from earlier this year at the High Commission
oh
too.
yes, I wrote a bit of, yeah, I read a bit of it at the High Commission, yes, at the book fair, which was really exciting. So I'm looking forward to it 'cause I think there's a lot of poems about singleness and relationships and stuff like that. So I'm really excited to share that with the world. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Well, we're glad to hear, there's a lot happening for you coming up and a lot that you've been working on. So, from the Begin Build Blossom family, we extend very best wishes to you on this journey. And we're somewhere in between. So, we look forward to catching up with you again in a few years to see how far you've come to the blossoming stage.
Yes, me too. I'm looking forward to it.
So, what would blossoming look like for you as we close out?
I am writing a second play, so I think having that commissioned would be wonderful, and that's more set in, well, it's set in St. Lucia as well. They and about a middle-aged married couple and them dealing with just a lot of family issues, but also the political landscape in St. Lucia. So I think that would be wonderful to see that commissioned, and also from that having another commission, but a TV show. There's an idea I have for this TV show that I would love for people to support with that. So that's a big blossoming thing for me. And to have my poetry book, not advertised, but to have an interview on TV with the poetry book, on like ITV News or something like that. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay. All right. So, we'll tag ITV in this podcast interview. Okay, excellent. Well, Brittany, thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for sharing your journey. This has been Begin Build Blossom, your business journey. I've been your host, Angela Sindenis. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And of course, we encourage you to provide us with feedback on our interviews. And there's an opportunity for you to ask a question that we will share with our next guest. So, bye for now. A quick note before we wrap up. The insights and experiences shared by our guests are their own. We love creating space for real conversations about business and growth, and everyone's journey is unique. Therefore, this podcast is for informational and inspirational purposes only. It is not meant to replace legal, financial, or other professional advice. So, we encourage you to take what's useful, do your own due diligence, and build what works best for you.
Thanks for listening to Begin, Build, Blossom Your Business Journey. We hope today's conversation gave you the insights and inspiration you need to move forward on your own path. Don't forget to subscribe or follow wherever you get your podcast so you never miss an episode. Do you have feedback? We'd love to hear from you at podcast@cmeaccountingllc.com. Join us again next week for a new episode.